What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to do a deck profile for my Fire Fists, or Rabbit Fists as they currently run. I was going to take this deck to the Vancouver Regionals, but unfortunately my plans just fell through, and despite all my efforts to try and reestablish plans to get there, I just couldn't find a way to attend the event, so unfortunately I won't be able to go to the Vancouver Regionals anymore, but hopefully there will be a regional event that I can attend in Calgary when I go home for the summer, which is it's really likely because Calgary holds a lot of regional events, like they have 3 or 4 every single year, so hopefully that'll end up happening and my plans don't fall through again. Like I said, I was running the Fire Fists, and I've really enjoyed building this deck. I've really enjoyed testing it, and I want to thank everybody that helped me build it. This is the deck that I would have taken to regionals. I was trying to side between like 4 different decks: Fire Fists, 6 Samurai, Heroes, Thunder Family. I was trying to run like 6 Samurai, Heroes, or Thunder Family because I'd like to see kind of a underdog deck rise up and like top a regional instead of something that's been topping consistently recently. But I just decided that Fire Fists are too strong right now, and that I might as well play them while they're good. So yeah. Anyways, this is the deck profile. I hope you enjoy. For the monster count, we have 3 Brotherhood of the Firefist Bear. Uses effect to pop monsters, or when you attack and deal battle damage, you can search for a fire formation spell from your deck and set it. Normally this would be Tenki or Tensu. 2 Dragon. A lot of people are hating on this card recently, and I don't know why. It's really good. This card helps you consistently go into like Shockmaster and Violent Sigma because it special summons monsters from the deck, so you can like normal summon him. If you already have a Tenki on the field, you can activate Tensu, get his search for Tensen, then send both Tenki and Tensu to the graveyard, or sorry, then first summon like a gorilla or a bear from your hand, and then send the 2 from your graveyard to like special bear, and you have like a Shockmaster right there. So it's really consistent, and I really like it in this deck. 2 gorillas, basically a bad version of bear. He's still really good. I shouldn't say that he's bad, but he can use his effect to pop spells or traps. The issue is that those can be chained to his effect, so if you aren't careful, like, you could actually go minus with this because you pop your own fire formation and then he just like sends it back to your hand with Compulse, or like activates Fiendish Chain and now you can't do anything. Those kind of things, right? So yeah, 2 of him. He's still really good, but yeah. 2 Reborn Tengu, just because it has a lot of synergy with the deck. It's also Wind, which is important for my version. 2 Rabbit, because this is the Rabbit Fist build and you need your rabbit. 3 Ninkendog. I was running Gene Warped Werewolves like online, but I just couldn't get Gene Warped Werewolves or Vorse Raiders in time. Victoria is actually really hard to find cards when you need them because it's a very small city. It's not like a big city where you can actually find whatever card you want like whenever you need it. So I was running Ninkendogs because I could still go into the Lightning Chidori plays, which is essentially a -2 for your opponent. I would have preferred to run Vorse Raider or Gene Warped Werewolf though, just because I find that those 2 are better. 3 Tenki. It's your searcher of the deck. It's really, really good. Normally you'd search for bear with that. 2 Tensu. You only need 2 because generally you want this to stay on the field. You don't want to pop this for your monster effects, but it is there to pop if you have to. But you want to utilize it by leaving it on the field every turn so that you could always get your extra normal summon. So it's really good. 3 Forbidden Lance. It's really good in this deck. Use it to with Bear or Gorilla to get over monsters to get their effects, or when your opponent's trying to attack into you, lance them, and then you get your Bear's effect or Gorilla's effect. When you go into Tiger King, they try and Fiendish Chain or something. When you activate your effect, you can Forbidden Lance and just keep going. It protects your bears, it protects your plays, just helps your deck go off, and it's really needed in this kind of deck. 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, really good against water and really good against the mirror match. It's kind of needed at 3 in this format right now. Two Pot of Duality for consistency. One Reborn and one Dark Hole. You don't run Heavy Storm in this deck because it's really counterproductive. It's almost like running Dark Hole and Six Samurai. It's just, it defeats the purpose of the deck because you're trying to protect your back row. You're trying to keep your back row on the field so that you can use it for your monster's effects. And that's why you run, that's another reason why you run the 3 Mystical Space Typhoons, is because you can't really run the Heavy Storm in this deck. Well, you can, but I just don't find it as good. 2 Mirror Force, just because it's pretty staple right now. 2 Torrential, also pretty staple right now. 2 Bottomless, also pretty staple right now. 2 Tencents, mainly because you have the 2 dragons and so you can search it from your deck. That's really the only reason I find this card to be good, is because it's searchable. But you could activate this during your damage step to get Bears and Gorilla's effect, and it just makes your monsters generally big because it's a 300 point increase instead of just like a 100. So Fire Formation Tencent is actually pretty decent. 1 Judgment, 1 Starlight Road, and 1 Warning. Those are the 1-ofs of the deck. For your extra deck, you got a token to scare people into thinking you're running Gores like before the match begins. Stardust Dragon, 2 Tiger King. This is your boss monster of the deck. You want to go into this like whenever you can. You don't need 3 because if you've already gone into 3 and you haven't won, there's something wrong because this card gives you so much advantage. He's a quasi-skill drain. If he leaves the field while you have 3 face-up fire formations, you can send the 3 fire formations with him to special summon 2 Fire Fist monsters from your deck. He sets up a lot of plays for you, and the deck pretty much revolves around this card. 2 Lightning Chidori. The way that my deck is built, I have 5 win targets, so this is essentially my second boss monster. If I can get this guy's effect off, it's a -2 for my opponent. So like, I target a set card when he's summoned and send it to the bottom of the deck, activate his effect, and target a face-up card and send it to the top of the deck. If I can get those effects off, because spells and traps can be chained to his summon and can be chained to his effect, so it can be difficult to get his effect off, but if I can, it puts me in a really advantageous position. 1 Utopia. It's staple, but I just think it's bad in this format. 1 Photon Papilloperative. It's really good. 1 number 50 Black Ship of Corn, just to get over like Zenmage, Gachi, and Maestroke. 1 Diamond Direwolf. If you can't run Scrap Dragon, you might as well run something that has a Scrap Dragon-esque effect. It's really good with Tengu as well, because you can pop Tengu to pop something, and then Tengu just comes back anyways, so you don't really lose advantage by doing that. Steel Swarm Roach. It's just really good against things that special summon level 5s a lot, like Chaos Dragons and Light Sworns, and you have the space, so you might as well run it just in case. I mean, I know that at the Victoria Champs, I was running this, and it won me a match against Light Sworns because I went into it 2 games in a row. 1 Maestroke. It just generally gets over everything. It's really good in the mirror match because you could just set Bear or Gorilla face down, so you don't have to worry about Tencent and Lance, and then you could just attack over it. It's also really good against Evil Swarms because you could just set Ophion face down and attack over it. Abyss Dweller for Dark Worlds and Mermails. It's pretty needed right now because those are like, Mermails are one of the top played decks in the format here in the TCG. Gagaga Cowboy to burn for game. It's also a natural out to Ophion. Like, when he's in attack position, he could just attack over something that's up to 3,000 attack. If they're 3,000 attack, you can crash with it, and anything 2,900 or lower, you can attack over. So he's really good. Vylon de Sigma. I went into this against Dragunities once and just stole Stardust Dragon. And since Stardust Dragon is wind, I just sat on Vylon de Sigma pretty much the entire game, and they couldn't do anything to me. Like, it's a catastor for wind, so I just kept popping their shit and like kept gaining advantage, and it won me that game. Number 16 Shockmaster. It's really good. If you can go into this, it essentially wins games. Like, I just consider this card staple right now. For the side, I was going to run 2 Snowman Eaters. I wanted this to be Fossil Dynas, but it's really player preference, because Fossil Dynas can stop you from special summoning into Tiger King and stuff. But Snowman Eater is basically for Dino Rabbit and like 6 Samurai. Things that go into monsters that can negate a lot of things. Like Logia is a walking solemn judgment, but he can't negate monster effects. And same with Shien, like when you're facing 6 Samurais. This is a natural out to like Shien, Beast, and Barkion. So really good. 2 Max C's, mainly for Mermails, 6 Sam, and Windups. Mermails are just a difficult matchup in general, but 6 Samurai and Windups are your 2 worst matchups, so you want to have something for that. 2 Effect Veiler. Mainly the mirror match, but it's good against a lot of decks right now. 3 D-Fisher. You don't need to run Soul Drain in this deck because you could just run D-Fisher and it does essentially the same thing, and it's better against more decks. So, like, this is good against Light Sworns, this is good against Dark Worlds, this is good against Mermails, this is good against a lot of things. 2 Dust Tornado. Mainly for the mirror match and for trap heavy decks. 2 Rivalry. Your deck is almost entirely Beast Warriors, so this helps you a lot against like Windups and also against Dino Rabbit, because when they go into Rabbit, they can't attempt to special summon a dinosaur while Rabbit is on the field. So they can't actually banish Rabbit for his effect, because that would be attempting to summon a dinosaur while there's a beast on the field. So that would be changing the game state. So 2 Rivalry of the Warlords is actually really good against Dino Rabbit, and it's also really good against Windups. 2 Mind Crush. This is really good against Mermails. Like when they go for Megalo, they ditch 2 for the cost, but they have to reveal, so you can actually chain Mind Crush to that and force them to discard the Megalo. And if they have multiple Megalos, this like wins you the game. It's also good against anything that searches. If I could take anything out of my side deck, I would take out the 2 Rivalries for 2 Trap Stuns, just because burn decks are always really popular at these kind of events. But anyways, that was my deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed making this deck, and I've enjoyed playing around with it. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment below to let me know what you think of the deck. And yeah, anyways, peace out.